What's going on, everybody? Bobby Fire, Cheat Tabor. We're going to be talking about tonight's NBA. It feels like a bigger slate than it probably is just because there's been so much news. But we're going to try and make things work and figure it out. We got Cole Anthony out just before this. I got the feeling there's going to be more news. We got, DeAndre Ayton's out, but Robert Williams is probably going to be on a minutes limit, but they're not going to probably specify it. So it's just going to be a little bit of a tough slate, which, hey, that's okay. We like tough slates. And you do have a nice late swapping slate where you've got games, all the way through basically to the till 7:30 or 10:30 Eastern. So Sheets is going to be live later tonight, and I'm going to try to pop in for a little bit. But I guess the first thing I'll talk about, Sheets, is I've rerun myself a couple times, but I'm really confused about it. I guess the biggest one for me that's strange is that we still have a projection on Steph Curry, who went from doubtful to questionable. I'm really not sure what to do with that. So I'm going to have to try and figure that one out. That's a big thing that I'm waiting on. And what I did personally, I'll just say that I did, and I like the later games anyway, but I just manually, like for the first part, because when I rerun things, it's going to change anyway. I basically, every player that I thought was relevant, I bumped up either a point or a few points in the games that are 10 Eastern or later, just to give me some more flexibility, because I think we're going to want it later in the night.
That's one of the things, again, as you know, and maybe people that are following me know, I mean, I definitely have experimented both theoretically and actually with doing stuff like that. I never figured out, and probably never will, like the best way to actually do that. Because I know that directionally you want to boost the later games a little bit, what I mean? Just because of the way information processes. But I don't know exactly how to do it. But one thing I've tried to just up the total of the whole game, and I forgot now whether if we do that, it filters down to all the projections. I think it does that in baseball, but I don't know if it does it in basketball. So the next best thing is just what you said. Just forget the guys who are not going to play anyway. Just look at the relevant guys and just make up some number, like a point. You know what I mean? Listen, it's better to be right directionally than not do anything because you don't want to be imprecise. You know what I mean? Like, just because you don't know whether it's worth 0.5 points or 3 points doesn't mean you probably shouldn't try. So I kind of like the idea. Now, again, there's another way to do it. If you didn't want to do that, and I'm not sure the difference, but you could also lower the earlier games. It's similar, but I feel it's different for some reason. I don't know.
I hear you, but I actually had some takes that I wanted to go through like that I actually just felt like we're being, and some of them are in the earlier games. Like I think Scotty Barnes' projection is too low. So I bumped that one up a couple points. I think that LeBron, I always give him a little bit of a boost in these, I don't want to say rivalry games, but the big games, the Celtics and all that stuff. And he tends to play better in those, those situational games. I felt Anthony Davis was projected a little bit too low, so I changed that one. So that's pretty much where, those were the main ones that I changed that were super late. But I also bumped up a lot of the Bulls, like by just a point, just because of the laterness, so I could have a little bit of adjusting. And then the Clippers, who I'm already like on FanDuel, I'm going to basically almost be locked in on Harden. But on DraftKings, it's a little different, a little harder to do. Depot, that's pretty funny. He says let's get to 1 million likes for Bobby.
What are you doing anything with this Orlando thing because of Cole?
Well, Wagner's back, so
it's not as big of a deal. Okay,
and Black got raised 1,000, so it's not going to be as big of news. It's going to change a little bit. Don't get me wrong, but it's just. I'm going to look on FanDuel now. I don't think it's going to be that. Like Black has got a 4.9 projection on FanDuel with, I think that's updated, by the way. And he's officially starting, and I think he's fine as a play, but he's not like a guy I'm like, okay, I have to play Anthony Black now. It's not like the other night where we kind of needed to,
So I see that Capella is out. I presume that Okongwu is going to be the super chalk.
It's hard for him to be like, he's going to be chalky, but there's a lot of good options. I think he'll probably, especially the higher buy-ins, be more owned, especially on DraftKings where he's 5,600, which is just too cheap. But there are other guys in that price range that also make some sense. Gafford being one of them. You've got a slightly more expensive, but similar type of situation. Podol at 6,200. So I do have Okongwu as my highest owned center. at the moment, but I don't think it's like a must play, but I do think it's a good play. It'll probably be in half my lineups.
So I have a dumb question. So you're like locked in with Harden?
On FanDuel.
Did I hear right that Kawhi was playing?
I think he actually is. Well, hold on. Let me just double check that I've got.
I heard he's playing.
Yeah. I assume he's going to play, but he's probably going to play his
24 minutes, 22, 24, something
They've
like that.
got him at 26, which is a little higher than I would have thought. But yeah, maybe that's right. And I just think Harden on FanDuel, he's 8,700 anyway, or 8,500. So it's a little different. Yeah, we don't want to play Wagner with this, just because he's not going to play enough minutes, as they're pointing out in chat. And this is a sort of a general question that D Pope's asking. It's kind of hard to just give these, and Sheets has made a million videos, and the truth is we do them every day. Sheets is doing some of it right now, but to just give general pointers for GPPs, it's really hard to go. We literally go through process.
What's he asking?
He said he wants some tips on pointers and process for GPPs, which we sort of go through every day, but I don't have like a specific way to put it off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, I can't. We're not going to do that now, Depot. But I mean, it might be worth with the new changes that have been in SaberSim for me updating my kind of just overall process video that I'll put up there. So that's not the worst question in the world. Maybe it's not the right forum to bring it up, but I think that yeah, that's fair enough. I'll go through a couple of like a new process video. Where I go over some, I won't say basic tips, but I'll just go through my process again, and see if anything's changed. Yeah,
for sure. So I'm just taking a quick look at something. So when you do that thing where you're shifting your lineups up on SaberSim, I'll ask a question here. You're putting the top projected one in the higher buy-in. Is that correct?
So that's sort of right. Okay, so this is what happened. It's not that I'm putting the highest projected one in the highest buy-in. So what it does is an autofill, okay, which is what this is. Let's go back to DraftKings. Is the way you rank them. Okay, so it's going to sim against these particular contests. Okay, no matter what order you put them in. Like if you see in the contest, it says under each contest that you're filling, what it's going to use as a contest field, like high stakes 20 max, flagship, high stakes, or high stakes, depending on which contest you're in. So whether you're in autofill or direct fill, it's still going to put them in the right contest. But the thing with autofill is that it's just it's an order of operation. So what happens in direct fill is it basically just takes the average of all of them, and then it just allocates them to each of the contests. And what it'll do is if you have one lineup that sims in all four contests, it'll give them to you. Okay, like that. Mm-hmm. What autofill does is it starts with this thing at the top. And the first thing it'll do, it'll take all 5,000 lineups, sim them all against Mega 8s, and then take the best one against Mega 8s, put it in there, and then remove that from the pool. And then it starts all over again with Splash, and then it takes the top, however, I don't know how many I'm playing. I'm only playing one, right? But so it takes the top one that remains, puts it in that, then it goes down to Showtime, and then it goes down to Fadeaway. So what you'll end up getting, okay, is you will never get the same lineup on all four of them. Now, what if you're going to play this way, it's important to realize what happens if you go to, let's say you put Fadeaway first, okay? And let's say you put Mega 8 second. Let's just say that there was a lineup that would be not only in the Fadeaway pool, but it would also be your top lineup in Mega 8s. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you did it this way, in this order, what would end up happening is that lineup would be taken out of the pool by the time it got to you. Okay. So that's why if you're going to, prioritize who gets a lineup, if it was going to appear in all of them, I would rather it be in the one that costs the most. Right. And that's why I kind of order.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good to know.
Just literally click on fee. And it just goes up there like that.
Nice. Okay. Well, I was wondering about that one myself because I've been trying to trying to get more and more familiar with this stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, right. Like, and yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not near there yet, but I don't know if anybody's ever there because I think everything's changing all the time.
Everything keep upgrading every time I understand the next thing.
Yeah, and so in general, do you find yourself using the autofill or the direct fill more often? I guess
I do autofill. I don't know if you could handle that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think you would want to have your best lineup in all your contests.
Yeah.
I don't really care. So I that's what I think. So direct fill. I'll just show you how to use that. By the way, another way to do that to make sure you're getting what you want. Let me just run these hockey lineups.
Yeah.
Let's say I was doing this using direct fill. Let's go back to NBA here. So we'll go into direct fill. Hold on. Okay. So let's say you want to do these in order and you want to put them in the right thing. Okay. Now I don't even know what this means. This ignore minimum exposure thing. I gotta ask. So this little arrow here, ROI, you go contest sims, and it'll show you exactly which contest you want to put it in. So let's just say you want to just fill the fadeaway first, for example. You see, like, this is the only one checked. Then what you can do is you go into contest sims and then fade away ROI. Right. And then when I hit contest now, it's going to save all these contests here. It's not going to take them out of the pool. You know what I mean? It's going to give you, and then you just go back to each one and then you do it all over again for each one of these things. Okay. Right. So now again, you could just, again, you don't have to do it that way. You could just go one time, right? If you're in direct fill, right? You're in direct fill. Let's hold on a second. I'll show you. So here in your direct fill, all four of them or whatever, I'll just put boom, save the contest, and it'll just if it belongs to the Mega Age, it'll be in there. If it belongs to the Splash, it'll be in there. If it belongs to Showtime, it'll be in there. If it belongs to Fadeaway, it'll be in there. So it's really just a matter of taste.
Okay, I wanted to make sure what I was doing because I've been running into spots where I've had like guys like 0.2% owned who are ending up in my 888s, and that's just a little bit different than what I would have thought would have happened. But in all fairness, it's not like they've been bad or anything. It's just was.
And I get that. Listen, I get that all the time.
Yeah,
I get that all the time.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought for basketball, I was expecting to be a little bit different, but I just think that it is just the nature of how these things go.
Yeah.
And
remember those few times also where, like, I was in that baseball contest I won, like 100-man, $250 buy-in. I had like 1% owned guys, and I won by like 40 points or something like that.
Oh,
like,
more than that. It was like you almost like doubled them up.
It's like ridiculous. So I don't know exactly what I feel about that, but that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
And again, that could be a thing. Like next time I speak to Jordan, maybe we'll bone up a little bit more on the impact of autofill versus direct fill and stuff like that. And you guys also, if you just even Google search every day, SaberSim does these office hours where they answer all these questions, and you could search for all the different conversations people have about autofill versus direct fill.
Yeah.
And you can learn a lot as I try to every time.
Yeah, I had a plan to do a lot of this stuff today, and I literally was on calls until about 20 minutes ago.
Welcome to Sheets World.
Yeah, I know, right, exactly. So just was, but I do have a list of notes that I'm going to ask Jordan. And for what it's worth on tonight's slate, I'll just go through where I'm at. Like currently, I am getting to a ton of the Okongwu on DraftKings. I've got he and Robert Williams as my highest owned players. The Robert Williams, there's definitely a risk minutes wise, and it's not like the dream matchup, but we're going to round out his minutes at what do they have Robert Williams at 26 minutes? Get out of here. I mean, that seems very aggressive to me. I don't know if he's played 26 minutes. Like he might have done it like twice in his career. He is starting. Let me just see. His most minutes as a Blazer was 24, and that was when he started the season, right after coming back to start 25. I don't know if he's ever played. He played going back way back to 2023, February of 2023. Then he was playing 30. He played 30 minutes a couple times. But with all the injuries he's had and everything he's coming off of, and the trade deadline coming up, do they let that be a reason to let him play more? I'm not sure I agree with the Robert Williams minutes projection is basically what I'm saying. So I might end up just manually downgrading his projection a tiny bit. Still going to look like a good play. But I'm wondering if you're getting this. I'm getting a ton of Russell Westbrook.
I'll let you know in a second.
Okay.
I literally just run my process for all the sports, and we're going to check and see what I have in about 5 seconds, about 2 minutes.
Nice.
Did I see right that I was looking at the TrueDFS YouTube channel? Was I trying to upload something? Did Adam do a hockey thing today?
Yes, he did.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. For those of you that are playing hockey, I mean, 6 of one, half dozen another. I would trust. I would listen to Adam with respect to hockey, if not more than me. He is really super sharp at lineup builds on hockey, and he also has some pretty sneaky fundamental knowledge also, and some really cool sites that he accesses to improve that as well. So I would definitely take a gander at that video and anything he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. You guys may not be as familiar with Adam, but he's with us now, and he's awesome. He does a great job. So I hope everybody checks out all of the content that he puts out there. And I like this question from Depot because this is one I run into every day. So I'm going to read it out loud, but I also have my answer, and I know what your answer is, but I still think it's worth saying.
Wait, without even looking at the question, let me see if I can answer without even looking at the question. Because I know what questions people ask. I'm going to answer the question. No, I don't have any maximum exposure or minimum exposures.
That's a part of it.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So you're pretty much right on it.
Okay.
But he's saying when you late swap, do you manually go back and have a min max or of top guys you wanted, or do you trust SaberSim late swap? Are we going by ROI?
I don't have time to any changes.
I'll answer for me for the higher buy-ins or lineups that look really good for the millionaire lineup this week. I started off with an average of Sheets, Goldies, and SaberSim's projection, and then I also I did have a min exposure of 40% on Kelsey in that overall, so that he was the only one from the first game. And then after I hit it, I started trying to adjust to what I thought was the most likely that could stay off of everything, which is where I got the Diami Brown and McDaniel. So the answer is I do all sometimes. But if it's really wild and everything's out there, I don't necessarily do the min max, but I will often change the projections to get me closer to what I want. I will also I will use more so in football, Goldie and Sheets' projections after lock. In basketball, it's harder because you guys aren't going to be able to update quite as fast as SaberSim is going to be able to update. And sometimes you need it within a minute. So that would be my answer. And yes, I would be shorted by ROI Depot. But it was pretty funny because even with the football, it's like you could lose, min loss, whatever, my min whatever at one point was like, it was like still 75% ROI, but then it was your max was like, it was like a number I hadn't even seen before. It was like 10,000 or whatever. I mean, probably just 1,000. No, I think it was 10,000. So basically saying that you have a chance to win the tournament was something like, it was really weird. I've never seen it go that high. So I thought it was kind of interesting. All right, guys, please hit the like button. We like to do these shows for free. I'm going to make everybody hit the like button. I'm also going to encourage people to check out the trial and see if you want to join us, because I really think that we've got a lot of great products to offer, et cetera, et cetera. You guys know I don't like to do that. Dell, thank you for reminding people. But yeah, let's get that like button at least. Come on, guys, please.
Me, I don't like doing them for free, but actually, you know what? This is my motto. I just like doing them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if we can't afford to do them, then I can't do them. So that's why I want people to sign up for the site. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
The site makes enough money so that it just stays working, so that I can do it. You know what I mean? So if you're not going to sign up and pay for the site, you better give us the like. You better put 12 different accounts and with all of them or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever you do.
But yeah, we do appreciate it if you guys do that. So I went through the main guys I have on DraftKings, and I'll upload for everybody who's a site member.
This is freaking questionables. What the hell's going on?
I know.
So Kobe White not expected to play?
Yeah, he's not. He's doubtful.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of baked into the projections for what it's worth.
Except the fact that I have a bunch of them.
You do? Interesting.
But it says he's out now.
Is it official
now?
Why
do I have a projection on him?
Let's see. Trae Young available, Jalen Johnson available, which is very surprising to me.
So I got to change this. All right, no problem.
That's interesting. I actually felt like so they're really doing the weird hedge thing with White on SaberSim today.
Is he still have a projection?
They've got him at 16 fantasy points, which is just an impossible median for that to ever be the case.
But now he's not playing. It says.
What's that?
But now it says he's not playing.
He's doubtful. So
Doubtful. Okay.
I don't have him as officially out yet, but I think that's the expectation is that he's going to be out.
Oh, well, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and guys, I was saying to Sheets pre-show, I'm going to end these usually around 6. Sheets will stick around for a little bit. This one he said.
I'll stick around for a little bit this time.
But I got to end at 6:30, 6:35 for me, so I can upload, so I can get all my exposures out. Finish my builds, get my exposures out to everybody who's a site member, and that is something that I think is also a valuable thing. Sometimes it's not valuable, but overall, it was valuable. It was valuable this weekend. I'll tell you that.
So this is what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, I know I'm not going to be playing Kobe White. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to rebuild with the projections the same, but Xing him out. So we're going to do that. Let's rebuild. Can I make him a zero, or I could just make him a zero projection also, right?
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's probably the better idea.
And look, it's not impossible that he plays, but even if he does, you're probably not like going out of your. If you could get him, great, whatever, But it's not like it's not like he's a guy you got to have or anything.
Oh, now it says, I have him with a zero projection. Okay, so let's just start.
Okay.
And that game isn't till 10 o'clock, whatever. But I mean, let's try to do this right.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to play him, so why should I? Now, is this one of those things, Bobby, where if all of a sudden he's upgraded questionable and then he's playing, then he's like the greatest tournament play of all time? I mean,
no one's going to play him, but it's not like there's nothing really saying to play him either,
Right.
There's no like logical reason why he's a great player or anything tonight. But I just updated. I upped all the significant bowls by most of them a couple points, some just by 1 point. The center, Vooch and Jalen Smith, I didn't give as much of an upgrade to as I did the others. That's the way I'm treating it. And I'm going to answer this other question from Depot because it's a good one too. Are you building in a pool of 5,000 and running against content sim? Yes. That is Saber. That is what you and then or trusting Saber sims. So you're doing both. We're doing both. We're using the contest. We're using the contest. Yeah, we're using the Saber simulation, and we're using the contest sims.
That's right.
Okay, let's see what else. So I'm getting my FanDuel stuff together. I got one more rebuild to do here because I did want to get those bulls who are definitely not getting the projection.
If anybody knows this, so I don't have to research it, this stupid checkbox, this ignore minimum exposure checkbox that SaberSim added, it's like annoying because sometimes it defaults as checked. I don't even know what it means, honestly. I'm sure I can find out in like 30 seconds. I just don't have it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I've been out there for a month, and I just keep it unchecked. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everybody knows except for me in this particular situation.
I don't know about that. I mean,
not you, but I mean the people,
somebody knows. Yeah. Some people know. But I also think, the other things with the Curry thing, because he was listed as doubtful earlier, and now we've got him as questionable. Where is he now? He's actually that's the weird part is he's questionable, but they actually are giving him a decent projection. But initially the plan of the day was to bump up all the Warriors because I couldn't get, I didn't, even if I put Curry at 0, it wasn't giving the other ones the projections they would have. But now I think you just do that with the Bulls side, and you're still going to have plenty of guys in that late game. Plus you'll have some Clippers, especially on FanDuel anyway. All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the right thing here. I said you should research this stuff, so I'm gonna try to find this out live on screen here. But let me just run this FanDuel thing first. And then I'm going to ask right in the 623. And I'm going to ask right in the thing what this ignore minimum exposure thing is. So let's just first do do this. And while this is going on, let me go into Discord. And we will go into actually SaberSim's NBA. And we're going to do this.
Yeah, so pop that one in. I'm curious about the answer for it as well. So, and while you're doing that real quick, I'm just going to say, so on FanDuel, I'm still getting 80% James Harden. I'm getting 65% Quentin Grimes, which doesn't feel great to me. So I might downgrade his projection just a little bit, just because I don't love that number. I'm getting a ton of Andrew Wiggins, which also I'll downgrade his projection a little bit. I don't love that number. And then PJ Washington, I do like that one quite a bit, actually. So I actually think PJ, yeah, I could almost argue for him. And then a Kongwu, then Jalen Johnson. The Jalen Johnson is interesting because coming back from the injury and we've got him going full minutes, it's a good matchup. So I'm good with the Jalen Johnson. I just was worried about the minutes. I'm less worried after they just announced that he's a go. I just thought he wasn't going to play today. And then we get to Westbrook, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez. Jaime Jaquez, that could be a little bit of fishiness. I don't think in my hand builds I'm going to get to Jaime Jaquez, just because we're just assuming this situation. But remember, Jimmy Butler's been out for a while, and until the last couple games. And in those games, I mean, Jaquez had 2 huge games and 4 terrible games. So as chalk, I'm not sure we want to do that.
You know what I might do? Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll put this. As long as I'm going to spend a little bit of time tonight and doing a little late swapping and going on, maybe I'll put the State Kings thing up there. Maybe I'll do some of that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's do this. And then we'll go to autofill, and I want to see if I get a response from. So if I'm not mistaken, I might get a no. Damn it! I'm trying to even conceive of what this could be. As I up, and then after I do this, as I'm waiting for that answer, I will. And again, I don't know what good it's going to do people, but I am going to tell people what my exposures are right now.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't mean to be glib when I say this. It is not particularly relevant. It's just how I got there. That's most relevant.
Right.
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at again. We'll flash this thing here. So I'm getting 68% Okongwu and 51% Prosper.
Yep.
And then 44% RJ Barrett. And then 43% Grimes.
Yeah.
Grady Dick. So are these all from the same game?
No.
Oh, okay. Dallas and Toronto, they're not all in the same game? Okay.
No, Toronto's playing Atlanta.
How about 35% Malik Monk? Is that normal?
That seems like a pretty aggressive stance, but I kind of liked him tonight anyway.
Right.
It's just a little bit hard on the back-to-back. So I didn't get to like almost any, hardly any on FanDuel, and basically a little bit more on DraftKings, but like 5%, nothing crazy.
Okay. And obviously, for those that were asking, I don't do anything with the salary. I mean, even when I see that, I'm like leaving 500 on the table, it actually is a little frightening. But you don't usually do well leaving money on the table in full slates in the NBA.
No.
But if I'm getting it, I'm getting it. And I'm just going to leave it. That's just my.
But which is why if you are using min-max exposures, you have to tighten up the range that you're doing. So like if you want to do something after like and you put min-max exposures on like 15 different guys after the first games on your late swap, you're dead, because they're going to take that and you might end up with like 5,000 left on the table. Now you could get away with that in other sports potentially. You certainly can't do it in basketball and have any chance. All right, I'm going to get out of here in just a minute, guys. But before I do, I'm just making sure nothing else changed that we're missing. Chris Murray is in, Tamani Kamara is in, so nothing to do with Portland. Nothing else to change with Portland, I should say. And I'm a little bit skeptical of the minutes projection on Robert Williams. I am not necessarily skeptical on the point projection, which I know it sounds weird, but like 22 fantasy points is something he could get in like a quarter. Like,
okay, so here's the answer, by the way.
Okay.
So I see. So sometimes it yells at you.
Yeah.
What this does, number one, is that it ignores the warning if you have those checked.
Okay.
Okay. And the other thing is that Matt is saying it ignores the exposure settings entirely for those contests.
Okay.
So that could be, by the way, sometimes why you might not get what you want in certain contests.
Right.
So, like for example, it's actually some information here. So, like for example, if you have these, let's pull these up again. Let's go into right. So, if you put in like you wanted 5%, maximum 5%, or whatever exposure you have, and you leave like 3 of them checked and 1 of them are unchecked, what'll end up happening is that this might override. You know what I mean? So if it's checked, then ignore min exposure. Let's double check and see what this means. It says it ignores the exposure settings for those contests. So if you check that, then it's not going to give you what you want.
Right.
So what you should probably do is leave those unchecked.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but
it's only for the autofill though, right?
no. Good question. Let me see. No, maybe you're right. Yeah, I think it's for. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is for autofill only. Let me just double check.
I wasn't seeing it.
Let me see. And this is a setting only in autofill.
It's like a Christmas tree. That
So you should definitely keep them unchecked. And you say, yeah, but sometimes these things, like sometimes when it pops up here, like two of them are checked and one isn't. I don't even know why it defaults that way. So that's something that if you are going to use autofill, and then you should be unchecking them if you've made any changes.
Right. Okay.
In your demands.
So let me because now I can't even. Oh, there they are. So I should leave them unchecked. So why does it select certain ones out of? I'll figure this stuff out later.
That I don't know.
I don't know why. Unchecked, but it is only an autofill. It looks like.
And is there a reason why some are default to checked and some to unchecked? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys want if you guys want a guy to follow, by the way, he's like all over like the SaberSim Discord. He's also he's Twitter. This guy Sean T. He's like super duper sharp. Really, really sharp. So whatever he tweets, whatever it is, he knows as much about SaberSim, if not more than I do, and he's really, really good player also.
Nice.
So let me just see. Let's see what they say about this. Single entries are unchecked. There we go. Because we presume you don't want to apply exposures there, restrictions there.
Well, that's a little bit weird because
they're checked. Single entries are checked.
Yeah, single entries are checked.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that makes a little more
sense. Sean T goes right in with the correction. See that? That's right.
Nice. But it's only on the autofill, right?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, okay, good. Just want to make
That's correct.
All right. I'm probably going to get out of here and post my stuff in just a minute on the site. Sheets, good luck. Good luck, everybody. And I'll see you guys soon.
Okay. Okay. So again, I am going to have to, do I still have Kobe White lineups even though I X'd him out? I doubt that, right? Let me just see. Yeah, so they're all gone. Okay. And here's another one. So I see Chris Middleton. He's probable. All right, fair enough. That's fine. What other questionable tags do we have here? Steph Curry listed as questionable. Now I am going to enable the chat, so I'm going to be able to see these again. I'm thinking okay, so we answered these questions, Dell, right? Okay. And again, if you want to look at this again, this is the relevant explanation within here. Portland confirmed Robert Williams, Anthony Simons, Kamara. So Scoot Henderson was expected to start, but he's being replaced by Denny Avdia. I don't know if that was whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this Kobe White thing one more time and see one more set of projections and see if anything changes here. We'll do this on the other side. And as this has happening, I'll go and look at some more questions. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick look at my goalies in hockey. It's 6:35. We'll take a look at. You see, I'm leaving a bunch of money on the table here. Check this out, like 1,000 on the table in hockey. But again, I just can't worry about that. You know, I just get what I get. And, you know, as I tell my kids, you get what you get. You don't get upset. I don't tell them that anymore. They're well in their 20s, but I used to tell them that. So it is a good idea every once in a while just to double check, make sure your goalies are in and things like that. 1,000 left on the table on a full slate. Not maybe that's not the greatest, honestly, but far be it from me. Ooh, so we have an Outski guy here. Hold on, let me just see something. So now we have it cannot meet your unexpected exposure. So we do want to. What exposure am I? So let's do this again. Let's do all these. Let's again do autofill, and let's put this up at the top. And we're going to keep them unchecked because we don't have any exposures to worry about. Actually, we do, right, because I went into the stack exposures. See that? Finally figured it out. So because I made these zeros, I have to check these for hockey. Okay, good job. Good job, Eric. Good job, everybody. All right, so we figured that out. Excellent. But it still says unable to meet exposures. So, let's try this one more time. Then I'm not going to actually put this in here. Let's let me let's see what they say about this. I try to update the projections as I get them. It depends on how busy I am. Tonight, I have a little more time, so I could probably update them a little more often.
You saw the phone?
What's up? Yeah. Okay, so you leave them unchecked. I still get the unable to meet exposures, but you know what? It's actually okay. But now I have this, players out. So let's replace Sanderson, just one lineup, which is fine. Stace, when are you leaving? So we'll update these, and let's again see if there's any more. All right, I'm gonna get going, guys, and I will be on again at 11, and that'll do it.